Being one of Africa's more popular animals, these African wild dog pups do get their fair share of dirt road catwalk photo shoots like these. But you'd be surprised how much they share with the 90s supermodels of the past. In this case, those long catwalk-looking legs are for endurance. Their exceptionally long legs relative to their body size are an adaptation for sustained running over long distances as they hunt. That same long-distance running helps give them their thin Model-S statures with very little body fat. Low body fat also means that they have to be very efficient hunters, which they are, catching prey on 70 to 90% of their hunts. Traveling in these loose line formations, when the kids aren't falling behind, allows the pack to maintain visual contact and communicate effectively. Often silently, they use a lot of body language, and in tall grass, they use their ears and their tails to communicate over distance. And like any good supermodel, they've got their own signature scent. When they're on the go, wild dogs leave a distinct individual scent trail from the glands in their paws that other pack members can follow, which is particularly useful in tall grass and heavily wooded areas. African wild dog packs also go by their own stage names throughout Africa, like painted dog, painted wolves, or Cape hunting dogs in the south. Their patterns are all unique, but different populations around Africa have colorations unique to their region or their pack. The part that tends to stay the same is their tail mascara. Almost all African wild dogs will have white in their tail, and it acts like a flag in tall grass or heavily wooded areas for that nonverbal communication. As you can see with these two dogs playing, the one on the left at least has the white at the tip of the tail, and even the one on the right, though he has black at the tip, still has white throughout his tail. Now, if you've ever seen backstage clips before a runway show, you know that makeup, hair, grooming is all really important, and it is the same thing for African wild dogs. They are meticulous groomers and it helps to strengthen social bonds, but that's not the only type of grooming among painted dogs. Often when a painted dog has low-level stress or feels indecisive, they'll do what's called subtle displacement grooming, which is briefly licking or nibbling at its own fur to divert nervous energy. And it can also happen when they're startled like that, as you can see with the dog in the front. Now, sometimes they literally have to chase off vultures to get to it, but these models are on a strictly carnivore diet. This pack isn't fighting over the meat. African wild dogs actually consume meat by using a technique called the muzzle and pull method, which minimizes the mess. And you can also see here that the pack is letting the kids eat first while they stand guard looking out for other scavengers, which is also typical pack behavior. And if necessary, African wild dogs will eat grass like this, just like a domestic dog would, to purge anything in their stomach they need to get rid of. But sometimes water can be harder to find than food, and this African wild dog has a special adaptation for that. And they share this adaptation with elephants. It's called water scent tracking. Both animals are able to use their acute sense of smell and detect distant water sources, though it is debatable whether they're smelling the water or the animals at the small watering holes. And as we can see here, when they do come across a larger body of water, it's the pack leader's job, usually the alpha female, to check the edge of the water for safety and potential crocodiles in the area before the pack comes over to drink. Because if supermodels' lives revolve around the runway, African wild dog packs, their life revolves around the hunt. And the pre-show prep is just as intricate. Before the big show, it all starts with, does anyone have to go? It's called pre-hunt eliminations, where they take care of any personal business before they get into their stretching routine. These two are keeping watch while other members of the pack are in the bushes finishing their eliminations and their stretching routine. Then comes the greeting rituals. Think of it kind of like a model hug, cheek kiss, cheek kiss. Before every hunt, the pack engages in these rituals we can see here, with nose touches, body rubs, tail wags, all to build cohesion and excitement for the hunt. In this case, it's the models doing the catcalling. African wild dogs have a sophisticated array of vocalizations, wails, hoots, chirps, growls, but when they're spread out before a hunt trying to identify a target, they have what's called a ho call, which is a long-distance vocalization they use when they're out of visual range. While they were very vocal before, when it comes time for the hunt, everything goes surprisingly silent. Here, the scattered click of runway cameras are substituted for the rustle of tall grass and bushes as the pack passes through. Their single-file runway line becomes a literal relay chase formation. During the hunt, pack members will often take turns leading the chase to conserve energy. As the lead dog gets tired, he drops back and another one takes its place, allowing them to coordinate their movement and communication and cut off any movement by their prey. Maintaining speeds up to 44 miles an hour over long distances, they chase the prey down until it's exhausted. After a long hunt and a good meal, it's time to relax, which often includes some water and a cool down. African wild dogs have specific communal resting places they frequent and they meet back at if they're separated. These spots are often elevated for a good vantage point and near water sources. But whether after a hunt or just on a hot day, painted dogs enjoy pampering themselves, which often includes a mud bath. Like many mud bathing animals, these African wild dogs enjoy it for the cool down. It provides a UV protection from the sun, and the dried mud actually acts as an exfoliant to get rid of parasites on their skin. But one of the main benefits is that it covers the scent from their individual scent glands that we had talked about earlier from predators that may be hunting them. By masking their scent this way, it allows them to hide in the tall grass and relax a little bit more so they can enjoy the day and give themselves those hard-to-reach back scratches like the dog on the right. But their self-care routine is nothing compared to hippos, who manage to get birds to do their wound care and all of their pampering without lifting a hoof, all while living a very interesting bipolar lifestyle. You can explore more about that in this video right here. Thanks for watching.